crap, honestly. All right, go ahead.
I think we're coming
Woo!
over here to Instagram, trying to get everything rocking and rolling. So we are live across the platforms, and looks like we are live on Instagram as well.
Hello. Woo.
Welcome everybody to A Democrat and a Republican Walk into a Bar, the virtual season.
Welcome to a virtual bar. Welcome to a virtual bar.
Brought to you by the Big Mouth Media Network, and it's not actually a bar anymore. It's going to be a smokehouse if Sean has his way.
Yeah, so eventually I would like to get us into like a hookah lounge, DVR and a hookah lounge.
Yeah, maybe we should just switch to that. So I am your Democratic host, Dr. Cindy Banyai.
I am your Republican host, Sean Hartman.
And we are here to digest across party lines all the things that have been happening in Southwest Florida, and national politics. So, where do you want to start, my friend?
Well, rip the Band-Aid off and you start with the Trump trials, because
absolutely.
I'm sure you're excited.
President Donald Trump is now got 34 felony convictions.
Spark this real quick while she talks.
Go ahead and spark that up. Got 34 felony convictions in his New York State trial related to the falsification of business documents in relation to the hush money that he paid in a capture and kill story scheme to attempt to keep his affair with Stormy Daniels under wraps. This is a part of a case where his attorney and fixer Michael Cohen has already done time for, related to lying and falsifying documents related to this case already. And he was the star witness that was corroborated by other evidence and witnesses in the trial. The trial lasted a couple of weeks, but the jury of 12 peers, including at least one person who gets all of their news from Truth Social, decided to convict Trump in like less than a day. It was pretty astonishing, I think, for just about everybody how
they were going home. They were going.
Yeah,
everyone was told they were going home, and then all of a sudden, like, nope, we got it. So, and we were texting back and forth on that when we were watching it in real time, and my reaction was "fuck."
Yeah, but I was like, "Oh, well, this probably means guilty," because typically, juries deliberate longer if it's a hung jury because people are trying to make their case or whatever. So came back. So my take is I am glad to see that there is accountability for this. It was originally, and this is, I know that you were posting about this, something about a misdemeanor. So originally under state law in New York, falsifying business documents is only a misdemeanor. However, in this case, it was elevated to a felony because these documents were falsified in furtherance of another crime, and this was in relation to other components, the trying to take over, whatever. That's what they had raised it for. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm just talking about.
It was one of three crimes, and we technically don't know which crime they were. The jury suggested, and the judge even recommended. Which I find to be questionable, but saying that, you don't have to be unanimous on the crime, you just have to be unanimous that there was a crime. So it was, I mean, look, we talked about this over the phone, how, this is definitely obviously going to be appealed.
Of course.
And I honestly don't expect the conviction to stick. I think there was a lot of process issues when it came to this court case that I think they'll be able to win an appeal. But I mean, it's when during the primary season, this is one of my big concerns about Trump, was that there's a lot of drama associated with him. There's a lot of baggage, and as a party, we will have to play defense in order to protect him. Now we're at that point where he's our nominee and we have to play defense. It would have been easier if we didn't have to do that, but now that's the case. But again,
so it's probably a lot easier just to say, like, Donald Trump, Republican nominee for president, instead of Donald Trump, convicted felon
Yeah.
and Republican nominee for president.
It would be easier. Yeah, you guys get to label him a convicted felon, and technically that's correct. What I will say, and I actually want to echo some stuff that Mike Johnson said on Fox News Sunday. I don't agree with a lot of the attitude from some Republicans where we have to go off and start persecuting Democrats. I definitely believe, and I think regardless of what your feelings on the conviction, this was definitely a politically motivated trial at the end of the day. Whether or not it was justified is, we can go into all of that, but it was definitely politically motivated, and we shouldn't have politically motivated prosecutions, whether it's for against Republicans or against Democrats. And I know that there have been Republicans out there who've been saying, "Oh, we need to start going after Democrats," and that's not the case either. I mean, even President Trump, who ran on locking Hillary up, did not go after Hillary at the end of the day. He broke that.
Yeah, because she didn't commit any actual crime. See, that's the difference.
Okay,
That's the difference here, is that like there are multitudes of crimes that Donald Trump is being accused of that is currently under investigation, not only just investigation for, but under indictment for, right?
Yeah.
And listen, you and I both know if there was a crime that Hillary Clinton could have been indicted for, that would have happened. So, it didn't happen.
But I still think there were probably times that
the same thing with like Hunter Biden. They got him on the bullshit tax evasion and the gun charge or whatever, and that's what they got him on. They didn't get him on the other stuff because it doesn't fucking exist. So that's the difference here, and this is why I disagree with this being a quote politically motivated prosecution, because it's not politically motivated. It was in fact a crime. There was in fact other people who were involved in it who already were held accountable for that crime. And it was a huge friggin' deal. Like, if you look back in the history of the United States, like Alexander Hamilton couldn't go on to be president because he admitted to an affair and admitted to paying for sex. Now we have
there's a lot of other reasons. I mean, Alexander Hamilton was kind of
that
American.
was the one though. Like even before the play, when I was an intern in the U.S. Senate and I was giving Senate tours, that is what we were told to tell people about Alexander Hamilton. Okay, but the thing is now not only is he having affairs, but then he's paying them off and killing the stories in cahoots with a newspaper to make sure that story never gets out. I mean, that in of itself is sensational, but the fact that it's an actual crime because he was trying to avoid federal campaign finance law. Remember, that's the fucking point. Okay. So yeah, like this is not politically motivated because it wasn't specifically targeted at him because he was just a political foe. He broke the law related to this, and to save his own political ass too, by the way. So if there's anything that was political motivated, it was his reason for doing it in the first place.
It's I guess a fair point. I mean, he did falsify business records, which of course normally is a misdemeanor. So yes, he committed the crime in question. I think that's fair to say.
What he's been convicted of. So wait, hold on. Okay, back to this, but because you said that you disagree with some of the other Republicans who are talking about coming after Democrats. So that would be like Anthony Sabatini, who I had sent you a tweet from. Anthony Sabatini,
but there's other Republicans.
I'm running for Congress to imprison as many Democrats as possible. Vote for me if you believe Democrats are the enemy and must be jailed and removed from public life.
So I'm pretty sure Anthony is running against an incumbent congressman that for some reason cannot be defeated, even though he's probably the most corrupt congressman. I'm pretty sure he's running against, let me check, but I'm pretty sure he's running against Daniel Webster. And Daniel Webster has for somehow, that's probably him. For some reason, he has avoided. Yeah, he's running against Daniel Webster's seat, if he's been running in Florida's 11th. I don't know how he's been considered one of the most unethical congressmen, but somehow beats.
That's quite an achievement.
It is. It very much is. But somehow his district loves him, and they keep electing him. So I don't expect he's going to have a tough race on that one. But what I will say is. Again, I don't agree with Anthony on that. And if Anthony really wanted to imprison Democrats, he should run for attorney general because it's a it's a prosecutorial thing. Congress doesn't prosecute. Congress doesn't charge people with crimes. So, but regardless, this idea that we should politically persecute an entire party, this is the type of stuff that dictators propose, to completely outlaw and round up and arrest all these members of a different party. This is what we see in fascist governments. So I'm definitely against that. Not saying Anthony's a fascist, but that is definitely an idea that a fascist.
Anthony Sabatini is a fascist.
Well, you said it, not me.
I
I'm
certainly
not.
did.
I used to be a big fan of him because he was more libertarian, and he seems to have moved more to a right wing populist fringe. But
Well, I know that he's good buddies with Mike Thompson
he's
and also the Russian asset Len Blavatnik, because there's photos of them shooting with Madison Cawthorn.
and by the way, in all seriousness about Michael, we were just talking about this a moment ago. Michael is going through some medical issues right now, and so even though many of you might hate him, I really hope you guys, if you are believers, to pray for him. I've been praying for him every day. He's been going through a lot. He was running for state committee man. I guess it's a good pivot so that way we could get out of this damn Trump trial. But to the state committee man position, we have, for those that don't know who aren't in Florida, or maybe you are in Florida, never heard of this, each of the parties get to elect countywide a state committee man and a state committee woman to represent them at the state party level. So Democrats, from what Cindy has told me, they don't have anyone running. We had 3 people running for state committeemen, both Michael Thompson and Larry Wilcoxon, both of whom are some of your favorite topics, Cindy. Both of them dropped out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why did Larry drop out?
Larry felt that with all the travel he does with the different campaigns with both Byron and Trump, that he wouldn't be able to commit to it, which I respect. I really thought Larry could have put up a good fight. I thought it would have been an interesting campaign. But right now, Andrew Sund is who's a good friend of mine. He's the only candidate for state committee man. He actually lost to Michael for chair. So he's a good friend. So he's right now the only person. And then Tara Jenner, who's our vice chair, is running against Christy Houlihan, who is a young Republican member who's been involved with the Young Republicans for a bit and was a staffer for, I think, Ray Rodriguez and Jonathan Martin for a bit. So she's running for state committee woman. And we had a debate the other day, and all I will say, it was a cat fight. It was a very entertaining show, and just really seeing an actual debate between the two really helped, I think, really helped define who they are and helped us as voters make a decision on who we want. So that's definitely a race, if you're a Republican, to watch. That's going to be during the August primary ballot. But I don't know how many Republicans watch. I know you say we have a few Republicans. So if you're a Republican in Lee County, make sure to vote for your state committee woman and look for those people running. And there's actually, with Tara and Chrissy, she wasn't at the debate, but Miss Melissa Giovanelli, who's our school board member in District 2, she's also running. I would be remiss not to mention that as well. So we have those races going on as well.
Yeah, I admittedly have no idea what's going on with the state committee person, because we've been busy doing something else that I might as well let you all know what's going on, because it is qualification week here. So we've been working on filling every single state legislative seat across the state with a Democrat. In both the House.
Are we filled up? Did you fill up Lee County?
Yes.
Oh, who's running? Who's the Democrat in Cape Coral? I'm curious.
So what we have done so I personally and my political consulting firm last summer, we have filled out all of our roles here in Lee County as far as the state legislative roles, putting a Democrat in them. So we have a Democrat in every single state house race here as well, and state Senate. So we have Democrat Chris Proya running against Jonathan Martin, Philip Carter running against Ben Albrighton, Those are both our two senators here
Mhm.
that are up for election this cycle. Then we have Denise McCleary, who is a vet running against Mike Giambarlo, that's 77 in Cape Coral. We have Mitchell Schlayer, who's running against Adam Botana in House District 80. We have Howard Sapp running against Jenna Persons in 78. We have Cornelius Fowler running against Tiffany Esposito and Libertarian Josh Krakow
Yeah,
in
we got the Libertarian
79.
who's going to stir things up. Yeah, he's been reaching out to Republicans. Very interesting. I'm pretty strong on the men's rights advocacy though. That seems to be his main issue.
I believe that he's a men's rights advocacy lawyer.
He is a big MRA guy. That's like his main issue. But
very niche issue, to be fair.
Very niche. But very interesting guy. Got a chance to meet him several times.
So I look forward for that being the seat that we flip. So
that might be an interesting one. You do have a lot of Republicans who aren't too happy with Tiffany Esposito. You have that being the Lehigh district, so you have some blue areas, and you have the college students there as well. So that will be our toughest fight for sure. Will be Esposito's district.
So I really look forward to welcoming Cornelius Fowler, and, the new state representative for House District 79. So Southwest Florida has already had that on lock as far as that, and so we've actually been part of a statewide and national coalition of people who've been looking to fill all the other state races, and we have already filled all of the House districts, and we are likely to fill all the Senate districts this week as well. So we look forward to fighting Republicans everywhere across the state.
It's good to have the competition. Competition strengthens us as a party. So I welcome this competition and welcome these Democrats in the race, and I look forward to beating them in all of those seats. Anyway,
it's good for democracy.
It is good for our republic for sure. The other thing I wanted to bring up, since we're talking about it, we did get confirmation. I don't know if you got confirmation from your Democratic colleague, but I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get them as well. But I got confirmation from 2 school board candidates for District 7 who are wanting to do a debate. They actually came to me asking, well, how are we going to get the Democrats to debate us? Because all the Republicans are doing all the stuff. And I said, well, I have an idea. And so we got that locked down. So we are going to be working on a date and a venue for all these 3 candidates. This will be our first debate, because we're still waiting on Greenwell. We did get confirmation from Cochran, and I think, is it Kizzy Fowler who's running for that seat?
Yep.
Okay, so I know that those 2 are willing to debate. We're just waiting to see if Mike Greenwell will be willing to. Hopefully he will. Who knows? I mean, we're not very friendly with him. We haven't been friendly to him on this podcast, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, and he is part of the Terry Miller crew, and Terry Miller has told all his folks about the debate. So
Terry told me to reach out to him, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I mean, I do have a decent enough relationship with Terry that I hope I could sway him, but I am not holding my breath to sway him. So I gave a June, July, very large time frame here, and I'm really willing to work on. I think we're both willing to work on Greenwell's schedule, because he's a busy guy with both being a county commission and making a profit.
And taking advantage of all of those perks. So anyway, So the point being, if you've missed this, is a Democrat and a Republican walk into a bar, and the Big Mouth Media Network is going to be hosting bipartisan debates and candidate forums through this summer for all of basically the Southwest Florida races that we can get our hands on and get folks to agree to us. And it sounds like we're going to be starting with the, as you said, School Board 7?
School Board 7, so no, 7. This is the at-large school board race. So this will be the one elected by everyone. We're probably going to do it at one of the libraries, because we can get those conference rooms for free. And probably, I'm thinking the Lakes Regional will probably be the best, because it's central to everyone in Lee County.
Yeah.
So we're planning that out. We're going to secure some dates. So please look forward to that. And going back to
stay tuned and join us. That'll be another place, time to be live.
Join us, meet with us, actually, get to know your
Pick the
Democrat and
candidates.
Republican who are always in the bar and get to know the candidates running. School board is a nonpartisan race, so if you're a Democrat and you like the Republican, you can vote for the Republican. And if for whatever reason you're a Republican who likes the Democrat, I guess you can vote for them too. But I mean, why would you? But regardless, and the other thing is, I mean, I hope we can do one with the Libertarian in 79. And honestly, even if we can't get Tiffany, I'd love to get just the Democrat and the Libertarian duking it out. Would be a
Yeah,
good
great.
would be a good debate. And speaking of libertarians, something we missed. I don't know if it was last week or a few weeks ago, probably a few weeks ago, where we had the Libertarian National Convention,
Oh
and you
yeah.
had Trump and Kennedy speak on at the convention. I don't know if you probably didn't see the whole thing, but did you catch any of the highlights?
Yes, I did. That Trump getting booed and
Yeah.
Trump trying to kick out the libertarians to put friendly people up within the camera shot of it, and then Trump not even
I saw that, yeah.
eventually getting applying for the nomination for the Libertarian.
He was
Sorry.
he was denied the nomination because he was not in good standing with the Libertarian Party, which duh. I mean, first off, let's run things back a bit and get some history about what's been going on with the Libertarian Party since last we left them. So when we left them back in 2016 and 2020, there was a bit of normalcy. But the Libertarians have this caucus called the Mises Caucus, and they're sort of this more radical and more conservative libertarian. These are the type of people who are like, there should be no uh age of consent laws type of stuff.
Oh,
There should be no
fun.
driver's license. There should be no traffic lights. Like anarchy libertarians, but also socially conservative too. It's a very weird combination. Um, but they took over the party. So they have had lost funding, they've lost membership. So they invited all three. They invited Trump, they invited Kennedy, and they invited Biden. Biden didn't go because, if anyone's worse than Trump, going to get more booze than Trump, it's going to be Biden, I think. But Trump was never going to get their support. He really went, and I did watch both speeches. Trump's speech was basically a pitch to try to get the libertarians to vote Republican, which was stupid because libertarians are no. He was basically saying the libertarians and the Republicans need to unify. The libertarians cannot even unify with themselves. There's no way they're going to unify with the Republican Party. So his entire pitch was he was trying to bring up the areas that he was more libertarian on, and even offered to put a libertarian in his cabinet if they made him the nominee. So it backfired. He was booed off stage. It was to be expected, honestly, because libertarians are very much against the sort of nationalist policies that Donald Trump promotes. Libertarians are very much free traders. Hang on a second. I needed a drink. My mouth is parched. That cotton mouth. Libertarians are free traders. Trump is not. Libertarians are very supportive of open borders. Trump is not. And that was kind of the other funny thing, too. I've seen so many conservative media outlets complaining about how the libertarians elected this woke gay nominee who supports trans people and supports open borders and supports globalism. And I'm like, have you read the Libertarian Party platform? That's what they believe. Libertarians are not just Republicans, but more market friendly. That's not who they are. The Libertarian Party is totally liberal. Know your audience. And that's the thing with Robert Kennedy, and I do have to applaud him on it. Robert Kennedy knew his audience, and he played them so well. Like seriously, he starts off quoting George Mason, who is the founding father who's responsible for the Bill of Rights. He's talking about how Assange and Snowden are heroes. He's going to pardon Snowden, talking about all the civil liberties that he's going to protect, the Bill of Rights. He goes after Trump on COVID and lockdowns and all of that. He hits him hard. He hits Trump more than he hits Biden. And so the fact that Kennedy went before Trump, I think really riled up that libertarian crowd. They're like, yeah, he shut down the country. He did all these things. He tried to get these vaccines out there. So it was like you put him in the wrong spot. You put Kennedy first before Trump, and that just let libertarians realize, yeah, Trump's not us. Trump's not a part of our group. So, but
George Mason University is also where the Libertarian Party started,
that
and where
would make
libertarian
sense.
economic doctrine started.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. But it was, I much enjoyed Kennedy's speech. It was very on par with what you'd expect as a libertarian. Trump tried, and I give him props for trying. I mean, look, he's out there going and trying to reach out to communities Republicans usually don't go to. We've been talking, there's been effort,
You mean like the
whole-
Bronx rally?
Yes, the Bronx
Where
rally,
he
but
shipped in a whole bunch of white people from not the Bronx, and then Byron Donalds got up there and a bunch of rappers and
I don't
just
know.
a big old
I don't know
felon
if-
party up there in the Bronx.
I don't know if they shipped anyone up, but I'm sure people ship people up all the time. Let's be real.
Oh yeah, yeah. Democrats definitely have that level of coordination.
Fair point. Fair point. True. Very, very, very good point there. Yes, we are very organized at the Republican Party.
Yeah, no, not so much.
Maybe not locally, but anyway. All right. So what
Actually, back to your local thing. When you asked me, it was before we started recording. Sean was saying, "Hey, we're having this back and forth with the state committee people." I'm like, "Man, it's all sunshine and rainbows over on the Democratic side." So
yeah, good for you guys. Good for
just
you
saying,
guys.
it is also Pride Month, so lots of rain on our side.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are celebrating, of course, the I guess your high holidays. Your high holidays. Good to see all the businesses pandering this year.
Oh yeah, listen, everybody hates the pandering, to be honest. Like,
see, I appreciate that. I appreciate that even the LGBTQ plus community is like, you're all bullshit. We know you're all bullshit.
Yeah. It's like I was gonna drink vodka anyway. You didn't have to. Yeah, no, it's stupid. But Pride is there's basically everybody everywhere but here is having a lot of events because it's summertime, which means in Florida it's rainy and super hot.
Rainy out. No one wants to do anything outside.
No one's doing
I don't
anything
blame them.
outside.
That's why we have our Pride parades in March.
Right. I do think Naples Pride is coming up, but we have like Cape Coral and all that stuff. But
Cape Coral does have a Pride parade, but it's usually in March if I remember correctly.
Yep. Anyway, that's all we're doing over. And let me just not to go back to the Trump trial thing, and like we were joking about it a little bit, but like I do want to say that I will speak for myself and a heck of a lot of other Democrats and saying like we're not celebrating the Trump victory or the Trump conviction. Okay. Like it's actually terrible. Like, and I will say like, as the verdicts and stuff was coming out, my only response was like, okay, great. Like he's being held accountable. There's a lot of folks that want that, but this is not like having Trump be the first president to ever be convicted of a crime is not something that I'm happy about. Like it's horrifying. It's awful. It's terrible. Like I don't want anybody who has been a president of this country to be engaging in this type of activity where there's any question that they should be charged with a crime, right? Like that's awful. And so no, I was not, I mean, I just wanted to clarify that too. Like I was not happy and celebrating. I'm happy to see him get the comeuppance, but like I'm not happy about the situation.
That's fair, and I think that's good to know, and good to note that obviously that this is not a good day for our country, regardless of whether or not you think you like Trump or you don't like Trump, regardless of your position on him or your opinion on him. The fact that a former president is indicted on a felony charge, that is convicted is now a convicted felon. That is a historic and devastating moment in our time. It's akin to Nixon's resignation and all the stuff with Watergate, except it has to do with a porn star for some reason. So it makes it funny, at least. And
it does. Like there's a lot of stuff to kind of snicker at, and I think that's where we can find some levity in it. But
if only...
I mean
If
it's not good.
only Nixon
It's
fucked a
not a
porn
good thing.
star. If only
And I'll
Nixon fucked a
say
porn.
I'm very I am disappointed that folks, especially in the Trump camp and the supporters, they've chosen to attack the judicial system, because I also do
Yeah.
think that that's quite dangerous as well. Like,
Yeah.
I do think that, you know, a lot of the institutions of this country are hanging on by a thread because
Yeah.
of the way that folks have been treating them. And, you know, we have to kind of come back to, like, what is this American experiment, right? Like, what is it? Like, the judicial system is part of that, and having
Yeah.
faith in the judicial system and our institutions and our state local governments is important, and that's why we can carte blanche say corruption isn't good, right? And we can say that political bias in the judicial system is not good, right?
Yeah.
That's why it was never supposed to be part of that. And we have the separation of powers, and we have the checks and balances, because it was supposed to be complex enough to be above the
Yep.
fray when it comes to corruption. And I'm very worried that we are going down a somewhat dangerous path with
Yeah.
people attacking it. I am worried. People are talking about, you know, July 11th kind of being another kind of January 6th date, you know, mark in the sand. You know, is something going to happen in relation to that? It's kind of, it's very upsetting, because for somebody like me, who is like, I love our country. I love democracy. I love the systems that we've built. I think that they have a lot of promise, and there is room for debate across a lot of different ideologies. And I don't want to see the whole system come crashing down around us.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there as well. I don't think we should attack the judicial system. I think having fair criticisms on perhaps the judge's bias or different concerns about how the procedure went, that's different than attacking the entire judicial process. I'm like you. I think I'm an institutionalist. Institutions are the building blocks of our society, and American institutions in particular are what keep this country a republic, and a republican form of government. So we have
Which is a democracy.
Potato. Anyway, regardless of whatever you want to call it, the fact of the matter is that the judicial system will work. I do believe he will have it overturned on appeal, and that is the judicial system at work. But the judicial system worked exactly how it was supposed to. The jury, and thankfully, with the Republicans I saw on the Sunday talk shows today, no one was blaming the jury. They understood that the jury were given instructions, and they did not approve of the instructions, but the jury followed the instructions and rendered a guilty verdict on the basis of those instructions. So they did their job. So thankfully, there hasn't been any Republican officials who've been attacking the jury itself. But the judicial system, I think, is sacrosanct. I think we need to be able to trust in it. And I mean, look, we've had these debates on our side about trusting the judicial system with stuff like the Zimmerman trial. A lot of people didn't like that verdict, but we had to accept those who didn't like it had to accept that verdict, because that's our judicial system at work. So I 100% agree with you there. I'm not going to attack the judicial system. I think there's other ways to make fair criticisms about what happened there, but it's not the fault of our justice.
Yeah. Whew. So what else do you want to dive into, or we just take a breath until next time?
Is there anything else going on locally that I've been missing? Maybe in Fort Myers? I mean, you're the one running for Fort Myers City Council.
Oh, I will say that there was one update in Fort Myers that's kind of dumb. So there was a proposal for a Ferris wheel to go in downtown Fort Myers. It was going to be a private company, but it was going to be on the public property, and blah, blah, blah. And all of the city council members had voted to explore to see whether or not this is a good idea. And like, the instantaneous backlash from people around Fort Myers was, this is the stupidest idea that we've ever heard. And it was like, there was a couple of hurdles that like this Ferris wheel thing had like jumped over, gotten through. And then by that time the public had gotten a hold of it, everybody's like, no. And so this week, the proposal was killed. So no more Ferris wheel.
What is the opposition to the Ferris wheel, though? Because I'll be honest, it does sound kind of cool, like to have a Ferris wheel down.
Okay, so I think the opposition, like it kind of fell really into two camps. One is like we've picked historic themes for downtown Fort Myers, right? We have this like, historic look to the buildings. There's like, trying to keep a historic feel to downtown, and that a Ferris wheel wasn't consistent with that. Right. So that's the one thing. The second thing was,
you could make it designed like it looks like 1850s Ferris wheel.
no, nobody wants
okay, no, fair.
The second big kind of group of complaints was that it's a hurricane. Like, why would you put this thing that's like gonna wrap itself around the bridge in a hurricane prone area?
Oh my God, right? That's a good point. That is a good point.
So yeah.
Oh my God, that was kind of the first thing you should realize. Oh my God, I should have thought of that immediately. Oh my.
Yeah, that was my. So like I said, my first thing was like I said, well, how long? We still have boats that are sunk out, in the river downtown Fort Myers, right? Like, how long is that Ferris wheel going to be wrapped around the bridge? I mean, seriously, dang. Like. Because I can only imagine the equipment that it would be needed to take that off. So, yeah, so it was just kind of like, yeah, maybe not. Now, there's other places, I thought actually, hey, maybe Midtown, maybe over by the Stars complex. It could be a cool thing. You would still be able to get a river view. Other people said Fort Myers Beach, but that kind of gets the hurricane thing again. But like maybe an area that's more
Fort Myers area if you're discussing it for Fort Myers City Council. But yeah, I like the idea. Near the Stars complex might be a good location for it as well, and good for that community area for people to go to that's safe and good for them. So yeah, I hope to see something like that built somewhere in Fort Myers, but that's a good point. Yeah, you don't want to put it somewhere where it's going to blow away and destroy the Caloosahatchee Bridge.
Yeah, or the flooding too, like because the place that it was proposed to be was right on the river. Oh, so God, like, what's going to happen to the mechanics of that the first time we get a storm surge come through? So. So yeah, I mean, at least it was kind of scrapped. I mean, again,
good idea, bad implementation.
Exactly. So, but that's it. Like that's kind of all that's going on with Fort Myers. So
well, let's take a lesson from that Cape Coral City Council. See, when they heard all those people saying, "Hey, don't do this to our park," they realized, "Oh, we should maybe not do that." Speaking of, again, June 5th. We have, I need to figure out who's who. June 5th is Kilrain is June 5th at the Brotherhood of Heroes. Joe Kilrain running for city council. June 6th is Rachel Caddick. Caddick or Kaduk, I don't even know. She told me a couple of nights ago. I should know this. I think it's Rachel Kaduk. Anyway, it's a fun name to say, and she's running for city council, and hers will be at Cape Cabaret. Both will be at 5:30. Please go and meet these candidates if you live in Cape Coral.
My kickoff, by the way, is next Saturday, June 8th, 7 p.m. at the Edison Lab. So would love to have you come out and see me then.
Edison Lab, is that the Edison? That's the lab at the Edison and Ford Winter Estates?
No. It's a restaurant. It's the restaurant next to the Holiday Inn and the Dunkin' Donuts across from Lions Park.
Oh, okay. I was like, the Edison Lab, is that like we're going to be having it in his lab? That's a pretty impressive kid.
Not this event, but no, it's a restaurant. Just a little meet and greet. But also, we should get those Cape Coral City Council members or candidates and do a forum too.
Yes, absolutely. And we need to talk after. One of the candidates had wanted that I know wanted to reach out to Democrats as well. So they wanted me to reach out to you. So let's talk about that after.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, let's wrap up for today then. So
slow news couple of weeks, but except for the whole Trump thing,
except for the whole like Trump porn star stuff. Yeah. But also summer's out, summer's here, so kids are
home. What are you
So,
and the family doing for? Are you guys going to be going on vacation, or are they going like what are they going to be doing?
I
Are they
mean,
in
I
summer
don't
camp?
know. We're hanging out, I guess. I'm hoping to get a family vacation in here this summer, but we'll have to see how things go. So, but otherwise, Godspeed to all the parents who now have their kids.
One more thing I want to bring up too. This is a toot my own horn type of situation that I'm gonna do, but I also want to bring this up in case anyone needs it in Cape Coral. So there's something called the Tigers program, which is a year-long after-school program. As a part of the program, they have a for low-income individuals are able to get a discounted rate. Part of that rate gets funded by the Community Development Block Grant, which is a federal grant that is received by the city. Um, that grant, the allotment of that grant is decided by the council at the advice of a citizens advisory board that I am the vice chair of. Um, Initially, they were only going to have enough for 20 students. I was able to move some money around, so now 23 students will be able to get that program. We were able to get them
Nice.
more funding. So I am kind of tuning my own horn there, but I also want to bring it up because if you're needing a program both for summer at the Bill Austin Youth Center and then afterwards, definitely reach out to them. They have applications available, and thankfully we have more seats available thanks to this funding. And I'm very thankful I was able to maneuver that into our motion. That still needs to be approved by the City Council in July. I'm sure they'll approve it. Um, but again, I'm very thankful we could do that and help those kids. So if anyone needs that program, definitely reach out to the Bill Austin Youth Center.
Yeah, wonderful. Also, if you're looking for the Calusa Nature Center, it has
Mm.
summer camp scholarships available for students who may be in need of that. So, if you know a family that's needs a little help with summer camp this summer, send them to
Oh,
calusanature.org.
perfect. So yeah, there's a chance for you guys to double up, or if you don't get into the program, you can get into the Calusa Nature Center. So
Yep.
definitely, very glad we see nonprofits in our community and organizations in our community willing to provide help. So
Yep.
thankfully,
Keep
we have.
those kids enriched all summer long.
Hmm. Absolutely. All right.
Thanks for joining us here. So, I have been your Democratic host, Dr. City Banyai.
I'm your Republican host, Sean Hartman.
And this has been a Democrat and a Republican Walk into the Bar live show online this season. If you enjoyed the show, we'd love to have you subscribe. You can check out all our plans and pricing at the Big Mouth Media website, plans and pricing page at bigmouthmediafl.com. $4.99 a month or $19.99 a month to get all of the wonderful episodes delivered right to your mailbox. So thanks so much for joining us here. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
All right.